Hi, I'd like to talk a little bit with you about the new Zodiac. Um, so I've been getting some questions because people get confused because they're now looking at positions of stars in Zodiac, and one of the things they're finding is that, gosh, there's now 13 signs in the Zodiac because Ophiuchus, the snake bearer, has been added to it, so they think this is a new thing. And also they're confused a little bit because of the times of the zodiac. Gosh, they're different from the horoscope, so what is going on with that? And then there's also the prophecy of the new zodiac, that there will be a new dawn, a new age, a new order. So let's try to sort it all out, shall we? So, first thing to understand is that basically signs, astrological signs, they're not really a thing. What these astrological signs were in a way created for or invented for was as a calendar. 6,000 years ago we didn't really have very easy, accurate calendars, clocks, computers, satellite time, radio pings to set our clocks by. People watched the seasons, and if they wanted to be even more accurate, sometimes they built temples, which acted a little bit like a solar clock, but most people simply watched the stars. People tended to be nomadic and just be outside, and they would look at the stars and they would know, gosh, it is roughly this time of year. So to calibrate this calendar, they started to look at the sky, just see a group of stars, and they would call this group, for instance, Aries, that group Leo, that group Aquarius. And so they made these 13 groups. And these 13 groups, they tell us pretty much how, what time of the year it is. So it was just a simple way where a person could just walk outside, have a look at the horizon and say like, oh, okay, well, it is now that time of the year. But things have changed a little bit since then, because our solar system itself is not in a fixed position compared to the different signs. So we're actually moving, and what date in a way Aries was at the same location as the sun 6,000 years ago is no longer the same. So all the signs of the zodiac have moved. And basically this is a huge cycle, so all the signs of the zodiac keep on moving and shifting and shifting. And after about 50,000 years we end up basically where we started. So the same calibration which happened about 6,000 years ago, it won't be accurate until we wait for another 44,000 years, give or take a few thousand years. But you could say the astronomical side, measuring where is which star, is of course a way of telling time. But if you're looking at horoscopes, it's a very different story. Because horoscopes, you're basically looking at a cycle, a yearly cycle of energies which are coming and going. So energies are flowing from one element into the other. So they're flowing from fire to earth, to air, to water, to fire, and they go around like that. So basically there's 3 cycles in 1 year, and 3 times 4 elements is 12. So they basically decided like, okay, if we're going to follow all these elemental energies, which are, in a way, moving after each other on the earth, we can divide the year into 12 segments. And these 12 segments, when does one segment start, when does the other segment stop? Well, they use their clock, basically. They said like, okay, well, when this star is, or this group of stars is more or less at the same location as the sun, this will be the start of that element. And when that group of stars is more or less there, okay, it will be that element. So if you're in a way looking astrologically, then you're basically saying like, okay, we have a year which we divide into 12 segments, so 3 groups of 4 elements. But if you look at the stars, the elemental cycle is fixed, but the stars are moving. So while it was so 6,000 years ago that when Aries was there, it was the fire element, it has now moved. So you cannot say like, gosh, Aries, the group of stars in the sky, is now at that location concordant with the sun, so now is the fire element. It doesn't work that way. The stars don't create the fire element in our solar system. It is just a cycle within our solar system, and we're just using the stars as a clock. Also, if you look at the stars, this segmented zodiac of 13 signs, not all signs are equally large, and we don't have 13 elements, we have basically 3 times 4, and these elements are in balance. So you cannot follow the signs in the sky anymore to tell what element is dominant at that time. So we should in a way forget about the stars and just realize it is just a clock, and the clock is no longer matching. But the cycle itself exists, and the cycle also tells a little bit of what energies are available to different parts of our personality, and the different parts of our personality are made up out of different planetary energies. So my energy body, my personality, is in a way a mix of different planetary energies, and every planetary energy is used to compose a different part of my energy body. So the sun helps me to create my awareness, my thought patterns. The moon helps me to create my sensitivity, my ability to feel, to be receptive. It's made up out of this lunar energy. And in the same way we have energies which are very flexible, very responsive, Venus energies, and we have energies which are very tough, very hard, very unresponsive, and these are Mars energies. In the same way we can be kind of like positive, having high vibrations. These are more Jupiter energies, and we can also be in very low or negative vibrations. These are Saturnic energies. And all these, we could say, planetary energies, they absorb different elemental powers. And these energies, they absorb, they're used to build up my energy body. So by telling what location a planet is, it is like a lens, you could say. Like if Mars is in a certain location, it acts like a lens. It picks up that elemental energy and focuses it to the Earth. So the Mars energy will be tinged by that element. And this way we can tell a little bit of the makeup of your energy body, and also what energies are available at a certain point in time for you to work with, because we're not just standalone, we've not just been born at a certain moment with a certain energy body, but that energy body is constantly also stimulated by all these other energies which are being fed to it by the movement of the planets through all these different signs, all these different types of energy. So this is basically the classical system. So next step is, of course, that we've been prophesized that there will be a new energy system. And what this will exactly be is a little bit unclear. It can be there will be fewer elements, it can be there will be more elements, it can be that it will be the same elements but in different locations or in different orders. And ultimately, it's not up to us. It's not a human thing. Ultimately, it is our sun, which is having cycles of energy within our solar system. And the sun is in relationship with other suns, not specifically the suns of the Zodiac, by the way, but just other suns. And life here in our solar system has a certain purpose. Spirits incarnate in our solar system to learn something very specific, to do something very specific. And depending on the task our solar system has, it needs to create energy bodies which enable the spirits to fulfill their purpose. So if the spirits living in this solar system will have a different task, then of course the method of building up energy bodies has to match that. And we can do quite a lot with these four energies, with these four elements. And I don't know what task it will be, which will require a change or a modification of this energy system. But ultimately, the only one who can know if and when it will happen and how it will happen will be the solar spirits, the solar angels. So, if you want to know more about that, go and talk to them. But although I know that it will be in a way likely that a change will happen, because about before 60,000 years ago the energy system was quite different here, so it didn't use this four element system. So we got this four element system about 60,000 years ago. Whether we will keep it for the next cycle or if it will change, it's still in the open. We are now in a very volatile space where a lot of new spirits are trying to settle in our solar system. Lots of old spirits are leaving this solar system, so there's a big change, and it can be that this new group of spirits will require different types of energy bodies and that the sun will accommodate them. But at present the old Zodiac is still very much in place and very functional, and I think it will be so for a while. I don't think such a huge change will happen instantaneously, because last time it was a change which slowly phased out the old system, slowly moved in the new system over a period of roughly 600 years. So you're not going to wake up one morning and have a very different Zodiac, a very different energy system all of a sudden. These are slow transitions because the spirits which are already here, which are still in a process of completing their tasks, need to have the opportunity to finish. So they need to be able to use this old system instead of shifting to the update system. So you could say the new Zodiac will probably be, at least for a while, backwards compatible, so that the spirits already here can finish their things before having to move out to a different solar system. So I hope this has clarified the issue a little bit. Thanks for these interesting questions.